first, I'm Christophe Hamerling. I'm software engineer at PetalsLink. PetalsLink is a software company. We provide open source tools around software-oriented architecture. We're located in France mainly, and we do several stuff, and I will come back later on this. For myself, I'm working on several research projects. So last one was SOA for All, which was about bringing the service bus to something more distributed, largely distributed. And currently I'm working on a project which is called Play, is about event-driven architecture and cloud. I'm also a OW2 TC member since 1 or 2 years now. I do soft development at home, and I am also a Java user group member in Montpellier. So if you want to make a talk under the sun, you can come and give your talk. So if I come back to Petals, we are providing a SOA platform, a complete SOA platform. We started at the beginning of the company by developing and providing Petals Enterprise Service Bus, which is JBI compliant implementation. We have several tools around this. So first one is Petals Master, which is a governance solution. We also have Petals Studio, which is an Eclipse tool to provide and to configure artifacts to run on the service bus. We also have Petals View, which is a monitoring console. And last one, which is the one I will detail more today, is Petals BPM, which is a web process, business process editor. Okay, so I was here in La Cantine last year, and I was speaking about how we bring the enterprise service bus to the distributed service bus and then to the cloud service bus. And this year I will talk about service again, process, BPM, cloud, and all of this with our Petals solution. So some definition quickly. BPM is about modelize, automatize, optimize business processes. So in order to define who, what, and when. And SOA, the SOA layer will provide how we can bind this business process to the infrastructure, to the service infrastructure. Some of the definition and standards we use, because we are very based on open standards. Okay. Sorry, the Wi-Fi coming. Okay, so we use, of course, BPMN for the language for business process modeling, BPL for execution, and the well-known WSDL description language. So this is a night-level view of Petals Enterprise Service Bus. So this is the backbone, and we have many components which allows us to bind services and to access services. So we have many on the top, and we have also some what we call service engines, which are about hosting services directly on the bus. So for example, we have talent component in order to integrate data in the bus, and we have many other ones. And so if we come back to Petals ESB, the short definition is that Petals Distributed Service Bus is an extension of OW2 Petals ESB. We mainly add things around open standards. So it means that in the standard edition, the Enterprise Service Bus use protocols to communicate between nodes which are not so open and so internet friendly. I mean, so we added some. For example, to communicate between nodes, we use open standards such as SOAP over HTTP. We also add some monitoring and management tools around, also using open standards. So for example, for monitoring, we use Oasis Web Service Notification, and for management, we use Web Service Distributed Management from Oasis 2. Petals DSB is not only a middleware, it's also a framework, and you can, if you take it, extend it very easily by using, let's say, some Java annotation. And Petals ESB is almost cloud ready. It means that there are some things which are missing, and I will come back later on that point. So we can deploy easily the service bus on the cloud. So if we talk a little about Petals BPM, which is the main subject today, Petals BPM is a web application and this process editor, business process editor, but it's also a collaborative editor, and it's BPMN 2.0 compliant. So it means that we can import and export, of course, BPM business process description. We can collaborate on the edition of the process. So it means that several people at the same time can edit the business process. And we can deploy the, okay, thanks. Thanks, Guillaume. We can deploy the process on the bus. So what if we want to link all together? So we need to build the stack, the SOA stack. So we have business services, which can be on the cloud, let's say. We have the cloud service bus on top, the BPMN editor, which uses the cloud service bus to access services, management tool, service governance, and service monitoring. And we have all the connectors between all these modules. So to use the stack, we can design process, put services in the cloud if they are not already here. We connect all to the service bus, attach service to process, and deploy process to the cloud, and then run the process. Okay. So this is Petals BPM. So it's a web application, and I can start to create an executable process. Okay. So I have all the BPM components we are supporting here, and I can simply drag and drop components. And now if I want to, since I'm designing an executable process, if I want to validate the process, I need to define interfaces on the process. So in order to achieve this task, I need to attach services. I think I will not be able to. No. Normally we can bind the Petals BPM editor to a governance tool in order to be able to bring back services which are bound to the bus. So with those descriptions, we can attach services to all different tasks of the process, and by using services which are already running, defining on each BPM task all the interfaces and all the service operation which will be used. And then we can deploy the process and save the process in several formats in BPMN, and we can translate directly the BPM model into BPL in order to be executed on the infrastructure. So this part about pushing BPL directly from the BPMN editor does not work, but I can try to show you what another web console, this one, will work. Okay, so I need to just to connect. So this is the management console, which only use SOP API to connect to the DSB, which is running in an internet node. And I have already some services which are bound and some services which are exposed by the bus. What I can do is that to show you that we can run something, I already have some BPL processes which are registered in the management console. So I'm going to deploy one directly. So it takes the BPL process and deploy it on the service bus, which is hosted on the internet, let's say on the cloud. Okay, so now I have deployed my BPL process. I have this endpoint which has been activated by the process, and I can expose the service. This is a new service which is exposing interface of the BPL file. And so what I can show you, because I cannot show you the BPMN tool, I can show you that we can monitor things. Okay, if we have right resolution, so I just need to subscribe to the DSB, and I need to. Okay, I use SOP UI to invoke service. So I think it's this one. Okay, and normally we should see something here in live. Okay, so we have something. So in fact, in this process, in this BPL process, there are 3 services which are invoked. So these are these 3 endpoints internally which are invoked, and this is the total time. But we cannot see really nothing here. So I can just start something in the background. Not sure if I have 5 minutes left. No, 2 minutes. Okay, so I will show you if you come to discuss with me. I can show you that we can monitor in live activity in the service bus. Okay, so next year, if I'm here again, I will show you a complete solution with cloud, because moving in the cloud for web application is not so difficult. So we bring the web application to some VM, it's not a problem. But adding cloud things to Service Bus is more interesting. It's about having the different DSB nodes which are coming up and down dynamically. We will handle elasticity, and multi-redundancy, I hope. And how we will do that? We are in OSCI, so probably we will have collaboration with others of you. We already have some things at the Coreos FP7 project, where we deployed, I think, 6 or 10 nodes on OpenSerious Cloud. And we will use Innovent's OpenStack platform to test our stuff. Okay, thanks. That's all for me.